welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, March 19th, 2019. I'm Investor Boynes with the details. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Simone Kieser-Beach has heaped praise on maternal and child care health professionals as the country continues to see a reduction in the perinatal mortality rate. Dr. Beach was speaking with the Ministry of Health's media unit on the recently concluded 23rd Annual Perinatal Mortality Morbidity Conference. The conference centered on reviewing the performance of the maternal and child health care professionals in the country. Dr. Beach said she was pleased with the presentations made by the local maternity and child health care staff, who continue to perform well despite challenges.
And I think this year was especially good. We had not just the statistics, our statistics were good, so we had 0 maternal deaths, we have maintained our relatively low perinatal mortality rates. We're going to try to get that even lower, down to 12, but also the standard, I think, of the conference in terms of the presentations, in terms of the items, I think that was really good. The staff of the maternal and child health team, so OBGYN and pediatrics, they have had quite a few challenges in 2018 in terms of availability of resources, yes, and in terms of human resources also. But they have definitely risen to those challenges, and they have delivered in terms of healthy mothers and healthy babies.
Dr. Beach said the conference also allows the health professionals to examine areas which require attention and formulate sustainable solutions.
Are we increasing our numbers in terms of compared to the previous 3 years, so that it guides us? What are we doing right, and where do we have to work? Identifying our gaps. And so we were able to, just in these few hours, through the presentations, we were able to identify specific areas that we need to work on. Because we can identify many problems, many deficiencies, but what we need to zero in on are the specific areas that we can address, where we would have major impact, and where we can make it sustainable. So those areas were identified. Increased staffing, and we have already identified where we will get that staffing. Increasing the resources in terms of the availability of the OBGYN theatre. So as was said by PS, we had a meeting 1 week ago on that, and we have identified what we need to do to get that operational. So I'm very pleased with the conference. I congratulate the staff, I congratulate the leaders, the team, and this is a team effort, and that's something I really am pleased with.
The Chief Medical Officer also thanked the World Pediatric Project and the USAID for their input and support. She said the two organizations are of great help in building SVG's capacity in maintaining the health of babies born locally.
What we are trying to do is that with partners, when we work with partners, we identify niche areas, and so that allows for more efficient use of scarce resources. So we have a list of deficiencies or list of aims where we need to go to, and we allocate the responsibility to address that deficiency to the best suited partner. And that's what we're doing with WPP, and we're doing with USAID. So I'm very pleased with that collaboration, and I anticipate that with WPP in particular, we will grow even further. With USAID, the program we're doing with them, though it ends in this year, the way it was developed, the way in which it was developed and created, was to allow for sustainability. So we're building into the system methods of surveillance and training capacity, building teachers, so that even when the official project ends in 2019, we have increased our capacity to take care of our babies, and that will perpetuate.
The Grenadine Island of Mairo will have the benefit of more frequent district medical officer clinics effective immediately. This information comes from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment in a news release issued today. The ministry says the doctor sessions will now be held twice a month instead of once per month as previously obtained, representing a doubling of access to related health services. This development, the ministry says, comes as a part of its efforts to be responsive to requests from the community and effectively address the healthcare needs of the population, guided by the principle of health for all. The sessions of the Myra District Medical Officer Clinics will now be held on the first and third Monday of every month. The Ministry of Health says residents of Myra could also look forward to the construction of a new smart healthcare center on the island in the near future and enhanced public health services. Occupational health and safety in the workplace took center stage at a two-day workshop for public servants organized by the Ministry of Housing and Lands. The workshop, which wrapped up today, was based on the Occupational Health Safety Act, which was implemented in 2017. Participants who attended the workshop were drawn from the Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Transport and Works, and the Housing and Land Development. Speaking at the opening ceremony on Monday, Minister of Housing Montgomery Daniel said that it is very important for training to take place at every level of the public service or within industrial establishments.
And we cannot overemphasize the need for training to ensure that there is enough knowledge and understanding of our work. Health and safety is quite an important aspect of our own task. But even with training, there still can be fatal moments. I've seen individuals not only lose digits, but lose limbs.
Minister Daniel said that managers should ensure that the basic requirements and safety measures are met in the workplace at all times because accidents do happen on the job.
We cannot and we must not to be seen as we are the ones slipping up. We must ensure that there are things like basic things like running water, toilet facilities, proper lighting, proper sanitary conditions, the basic things that are required to ensure that the environment we work in is one that is safety and for our own health. I know that in well-established industrial establishments, the directors of those establishments are to ensure that for every meeting that takes place, that on the agenda, one item has to be for health and safety.
Minister Daniel added that the Occupation and Safety Act, which was implemented in 2017, is very important and encouraged persons to report every accident which takes place inside of a workplace.
It is important to all of us. It is important for the good of our workplace. And what we do will have bearings on our attitude and our responsibilities at the workplace. So, I am happy that we are exposed to the training today. I'm happy that we have representatives from, or representative from the AG's chambers to help us to go through the document and help to guide us accordingly. It is important we understand our own role as we seek to improve our workplace in terms of health and safety.
In an effort to steer students on the right career path, teachers of the St. Joseph's Convent Kingstown held a special career day today. Organizer of the event, Ms. Providence, told SVGTV News that there is need for students to start thinking about their career path in school so that they can focus on the relevant subject areas.
We try as best as possible to inspire them. So apart from sitting down in the classroom and they have the written exams and whatever else. We like to have persons come in who will actually down to earth with them and explain to them what is expected of them, you know, what requirements there are to getting into a particular job, or if they're looking long term, they want to say maybe a career. We like people to come in and speak to them, be down to earth with them, and let them what they need to do, what they need to work towards, so they understand that they're not just doing it, okay, I do an exam and then that's it. I'm doing this subject now because I need to move up another level to get into the career or job that I want to be in.
Our news team caught up with some students who spoke on their intended career choice. The majority chose the medical field, while a few wanted an office job.
I wanted to be a lawyer because I wanted to make sure people get the justice they deserve, and those who deserve to be behind bars get to be behind bars.
I'm from Becca also, and I chose this career because I want to help people.
And I chose to be a lawyer because I could help others, and I'll do the right thing to help others and do not put my family over people if they are wrong.
Be a pediatrician to help the children that are sick, to make them become better.
10 years, I want to become a marine biologist because I love sea animals. I'm a pediatrician. Well, I love children. I don't know why, but I just love children. I really want to become a lawyer. It's a very challenging job, but I like challenges. In the future, I would like to be a pediatrician because I love children. I love helping them. I'm trying to be a pilot. Yes. I have a love for planes. I really love planes, and I love to travel. So I think this will give me a great opportunity to go to different places. And I'm a business company owner for producing and concerting. Fashion designer, and I chose this career because I get to express myself through my clothes. I'm a part of the Black Squad. I would like to help the country to be a safer place to the citizens and help decrease the crime rate in the country. I chose a chef because food, when I cook it inspires me to do a whole set of things. I can make new ingredients. Over my years of being 5 and up, I dreamed of becoming an artist. It was my top dream.
I want to be a Chinese translator, like translating Chinese into English and English into Chinese.
Mommy was a teacher, and I've always been inspired by her, and from other of my primary school teachers. I just love teaching.
I inspire the people who work with Liat Company, and I would like to be a part of them one.
Be a veterinarian because I am inspired by my aunts. All of them are like doctors or something like that.
I want to be a police because I don't like to see bad things happening to other children or people, so I want to help them.
Be a zoologist and a conservationist. The reason why I would like to become these is because looking at the world around is so beautiful, but we're destroying it little by little every single day.
In Port Authority managing.
Of course, I love counting money, but it's still about knowing what I want to do when I go forward and how I want to do it in the near future.
A number of Vincentians will tomorrow welcome their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall, to these shores. It will be the first time since 1973 Prince Charles has been to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and his visit follows the 2018 confirmation that he will follow the Queen as the next head of the Commonwealth. The visit is part of a wider 12-day Commonwealth country tour to the Caribbean. Their Royal Highnesses are expected to arrive at midday at the Argyle International Airport, where a welcoming ceremony will be held on the tarmac. They will then proceed to the front of the airport, where they will greet school children and members of the general public. A news release from the Agency for Public Information said from there, the program will split as the Prince will visit the mangroves at Brighton, while the Duchess will head to the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, where a small exhibition from female entrepreneurs will be staged. Following her engagement at the community college, she will then proceed to the St. Vincent Girls High School to meet with students there. Following his visit to the mangroves, His Royal Highness will stop at the SVG Coast Guard for a brief engagement and then proceed by sea to the Kingston Ferry berth. It is at this point that both convoys will come together again and proceed to the cenotaph for a wreath-laying ceremony. The wreath-laying ceremony will be followed by a visit to St. George's Cathedral, then on to the Botanical Gardens for a tree planting ceremony. The final activities will be a reception and an investiture ceremony at the residence of the Prime Minister, where several persons who were named on the Queen's New Year's Honours List will receive their awards. Dr. Cecil Cyrus, one of the honorees, will also be knighted at this ceremony. SVG will be hosting its first CTO conference in September this year, which is expected to attract more than 100 participants. This was announced by Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Tourism Authority, Glenn Beach, at a recently held news conference. Beach said there is much to be derived from such a conference, which they are looking forward to host.
Bringing some of the brightest heads in the Caribbean in the tourism industry to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to have these discussions, I think is something unique. I also think in terms of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a destination, it kind of shows that we have arrived. To the best of my knowledge, we've never hosted a tourism conference like this before. It's not big in terms of its numbers. We're looking at, I would say, probably 100 to 120 people coming in specifically for this. CTO has already come in and they've looked at our product, looked at the room stock, and I must say that they were very impressed, very happy compared to the last time they came and what they remember some of our room stock. Being they visited hotels like Sunset Shores, Beachcombers, Paradise, Young Island, Blue Lagoon, Mariners, so Hotel Alexandria, just to name a few.
Beach said preparatory works are already underway for the successful hosting of the 4-day conference.
I think one of the things that worries me most about hosting this is that usually it's anywhere between 100 and 120, but because it's the first time St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be hosting something like this, I have a feeling that we'll be getting more people applying to attend this, which is bad and good in its own sense. But it's something that we're looking forward to hosting. The SVGTV will be putting together a committee that will work with CTO to organize this, and we're very happy about it. I think it shows we're always attending conferences in other destinations, the Barbados, St. Lucia's, Bahamas, Jamaica's, Trinidad, and I think for us to host something like this shows that we're getting there slowly but surely, and we're able to take on these tasks.
The Caribbean Tourism Organization has been staging conferences for more than 4 decades, and the conference in SVG is expected to strengthen the Caribbean's tourism products. Some of the participants at the conference are expected to be prime ministers, permanent secretaries, and other representatives in the tourism industry from 24 member states of CTO. Nzimbu Brown has been involved in the indigenous art and craft business for some 34 years, and despite numerous challenges, Brown said he has been managing well and his craft work is now his main source of income. In an interview with SVGTV News at his vending location in front of the Couriers building in Kingstown, Nzimbu, as he is well known, said in order to meet high standards, he has had to recreate some of his ideas, especially using local materials.
Not too exciting, but at the same time you have to work hard. In other words, for me right now, I have to work hard on my designs to compete with the world. The visitor coming from big cities, big places, they're seeing lots of things, and if I don't have things that impress them, they would not buy. You understand? I have to have works to impress them. My bottom line is I'm using waste material that these folks don't see. Material that is on the ground every weekend. I take it up and recreate it into art, works of art.
Some of the products made are drums from goat skin and coconut, tie-dye, clothing, etc. Nzimbu said he has no permanent place for his business and mainly vends on days when cruise ships are in Port Kingstown. Recently, an appeal was made for a stationary location or market for local craftsmen and women to showcase and sell their products. Nzimbu said he is supportive of the idea as this could assist his business greatly.
Here what would be better for me. It's like if we had a craft market like a supermarket or the vegetable market, then I would be there with people passing through and through. That means there's a focal point and a space that people can pass and purchase things. That would be better. I'd be more accurate to say how much I can make, because people come in the craft market looking for creative work by Vincentians. You understand? So in that case, it would be nicer for me. I wish that could come very soon.
The Madonga Bakes and cassava bread are two of the indigenous dishes featured every year in Fancy as part of that community's Heroes Day celebration. Every year on March 14th, a number of Vincentians journey to Fancy just to get a taste of the local treats and observe the cultural activities there. Last Thursday, National Heroes Day, our news team got the opportunity to learn more about how these two unique dishes are made.
We're making what we call cassava bread. In local terms, they call it cassava bam bam. It's really cassava bread.
So what cassava bread is defined and what is made of? What's the ingredient?
Well, it's cassava, coconut, sugar, salt, and maybe if you want to put spice or nutmeg or something in there.
Just needing up some madongo to fry some bakes, some madongo bakes.
What's the ingredient? Most people don't know.
Well, it's the madongo starch. You add some coconut, some ginger, a little bit of nutmeg if you want, some sugar and some salt, and you just mix it together.
How do you get
the madongo is made from arrowroot, the starch from the arrowroot.